Shedeur, which quarterbacks are you talking about? Because there is some bad quarterback play out there, but the dude who can't beat Dylan Gabriel out for a job and can't beat Joe Flacco out for a job certainly can't lay claim to being better than any other quarterback in the league.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
That's a lot for a closer. 10. That's you're not a closer anymore if you blow 10 games. I mean, my goodness. That's
he's mentally broken too. Like, it's to the point where, like, Dodger fans aren't even mad at him; they're more mad at the Dodgers for putting him out there.
Putting him in,
right? It's more so.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, guys, like, he's done.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Major League Baseball has decided it is time to put balls and strikes not just in the hands of the umpires, but also the robot umpires, as they say. The ABS system is now officially in place starting next season. Now, keep in mind, they're not just throwing this out there. They have used this at the Arizona Fall League, and they've also used it at different levels of the minor leagues as well.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Everything changed at that point. They went and got Jonquel Jones, and they really had that triple threat monster team. That second year they lost in the WNBA Finals, 3-1 against the Las Vegas Aces. Year 3, they finally get over the top hump. You can question whether they should have won the title with that foul call late in Game 5 that sent Breanna Stewart to the foul line.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Let's roll. In-game live has begun. I am Gabriel Morency on the SportsGrid Radio and Television Network. You like sports? Then you're in the right place. Do you like to bet on sports? Then you're in even righter place. Let's do this thing. Man, we've got a lot of stuff going on tonight on this Friday night and throughout the weekend and starting next week. The National Basketball Association is back, so there's no short of action to lay it down on. Let's start off with the Major League Baseball playoffs. The Blue Jays just took a 2-1 lead on the Seattle Mariners. The Mariners have stranded a lot of runners in scoring position. They've had numerous opportunities. So have the Jays, and the Jays have finally capitalized. They're up 2-1 right now. We're going to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Jays are now minus 225, and the Mariners are plus 175. The second-ranked team in the country is in action right now. And so far, the market has been right. As you had the Miami Hurricanes were like 14-point favorites earlier in the week, and the number just continued to drop and drop and drop and drop and ended up closing at 10.5. And so far, Louisville are actually winning the football game. So we got a 14-7 game there. Miami are now minus 165 on the money line, minus 3.5. We got Nebraska and Minnesota ready to kick off. I believe Wetzel's ready to kick off. So let's get to our Minnesota and Nebraska picks. Scott, what do you got for the Huskers and the Gopher game?
Yeah, this is the strange line of the night, Gabe. I don't get it. You got a 5-1 Nebraska team. I understand that. But who have they really beaten? And you got a halfway decent 4-2 Minnesota team. And Minnesota's at home, and they're getting a touchdown plus 7.5 I see in some circles. And the line has gone up. Nebraska, they haven't won back-to-back road games since 2006. We're talking almost 20 years. They played in Maryland last week and barely won. So this to me is a good game where I'm going to just sit back. Let's see how it develops, because normally I would say Minnesota. Yeah, give me Minnesota plus the touchdown. But, man, that line's got written all over it. So let's see. But I would say Minnesota. That's where I'm leaning right now. Maybe a Nebraska fan.
I'm going to take the Minnesota Golden Gophers in this spot. I start to wonder, who exactly Matt Rule actually beats besides Houston Christian and the Akron Zips. We know about the struggles against the top tier, and not even like Jay Franklin just got fired because he can't beat top 5 teams. Matt Rule can't beat top 25 teams, and he can't beat the Minnesota Golden Gophers. So the Gophers have beaten the Huskers 5 straight times for whatever reason. They own them. Nebraska 1-4 their last 5 road trips as a favorite. They in the same spot last week. I didn't understand why the Huskers were laying 7 to the Terps. Nebraska did win the game. Give them credit, but they won by 3. Give me the Minnesota Golden Gophers plus the points tonight on their home field.
Yeah, very strange line indeed. All right, my next one will be, I'll take Utah State. I'll keep it in football. Give me Utah State, Gabe, laying the 4.5 at home against San Jose State. They're 9-1 straight up, 8-2 against the spread. Last 10 meetings against San Jose State, which, has been pretty bad lately. They're a little bit better the last couple of years, but Utah State, halfway decent team. They got smoked in Hawaii last week. I think they're in a nice little bounce back spot, tough little road trip, but Utah to Hawaii is not as far as it would be, from the East Coast. We'll say that. But give me the home team that showed dominance over another. Utah State laying the 4.5.
All right, I'm going to go with the over in this Nebraska and Minnesota game, which you really wouldn't think of. Oh yeah, I want to bet the over of a Nebraska-Minnesota game, right? They're sort of like betting the over of an Iowa game, but there's perception and there's reality. And like the real world, perception and reality are often, very, very different. So if you look at the Nebraska Cornhuskers, guys, they actually score 37 points a game. So, I'll take my pot shots at Matt Rule, but the offense has done their part. Little Mahomes has done his part. Nebraska ranked 15th in the country in scoring points, 37.4, right ahead of South Florida and Air Force. So their offense puts points up on the board, but they give up points as well. They're 5-1 to the over on the season. And then you look at the Gophers, who you don't really think of offense, but the Gophers are actually 4-2 to the over on the season, guys. So give me the over 47.5 in this football game. I think it's just a little light. I think we can get into the low 50s.
All right, my next one, it's the obvious, and I don't like being on the side of the public, Gabe, but I just – not that I think Milwaukee's going to roll over. You don't play 170-plus games, whatever it's been, including the playoffs, and just roll over. You just don't. But that said, I haven't seen anything from them that makes me think they're going to beat the Dodgers tonight. I put a little shekel on them last night thinking, okay, maybe a little hunch. It didn't pan out, obviously, 3-1. They're not hitting. They're not fielding. The pitch has been okay, but give me the Dodgers. I'm not going to lay the -2 and change, so pick your poison with them. You can go first 5, different ways to go about it. I'll just lay the 1.5. I won't ask you guys to lay the 2 and change. I don't generally do that, so I won't ask you to do that. So give me the Dodgers -1.5 runs tonight against Milwaukee to close it out.
The Dodgers are in a strange spot tonight in the sense that they win today, they're going to be off for a full week. Game 1 of the World Series is next Friday, which is not an ideal situation for a baseball team to be in. But it's a lot better than the alternative, which is to not win the game, right? So, I think that the Dodgers have a very been there, done that mentality. They have been very good at keeping their eyes on the prize. They go back to the Kobe Bryant line off and job not done yet. Mookie dropped it the other day. Dave, and I like Dave Roberts today at the press conference in which, we take one game at a time and stuff. He said, no, we want to finish this thing and wrap it up tonight, right? Like, said, hopefully we can finish these guys off tonight. So, I think they will. You've got Ohtani on the hill. The Brewers can sort of play with house money now, right? In the sense that, all right, whatever happens, happens. Just go up there and sort of swing away and let's see. But the Dodgers pitchers have been dominant, and I think Ohtani is going to be the next in line to shut these guys down tonight. I'll lay the 1.5 for the Dodgers as well.
Last one for me will be hockey. I'm going to go against San Jose as often as I possibly can. Now, it's not exactly worked out. It's one of the fickle things about hockey, right? They're 0-3, Scott. How can't you make money betting against San Jose? Well, because I bet them twice to lose in regulation, and twice they've lost in overtime. And one regulation loss. But I'm going to go right back to the well. They've lost 10 straight dating back to last season, which normally doesn't carry over, but it's just an example of if you think things have improved, maybe they have a little bit for San Jose, but you know what? Until they start putting some consistent W's on the slate, I'm going to look for chances. Utah -160 in regulation. I got to take my chance, and I'm okay with losing a game, Gabe, if I'm betting in regulation and the team ends up winning by overtime. Because in my mind, I got it wrong. But my mind is, in this case, Utah is going to win, and they're going to win handily, whether it's 3-1, 4-2, 5-2, something like that. So I can accept losing a game because I bet in regulation, lowering the odds as much as you're going to lower. You're going to lower the odds almost 100 points here. So Utah, long story short, minus 160 against San Jose.
Yeah, I'll have some hockey picks for the Canucks and Blackhawk game. It's coming up at about 8:35 or so. I'll wrap it up, and I don't think I've ever done this with the pick-off before, but I love the Ohtani props, but I should note it's insane. Earlier in the day, Ohtani was 6.5 strikeouts, which I was like, wow, it's a little high, but okay. 6.5 strikeouts. It's now 7.5. Earlier in the day, Ohtani was 15.5 outs. It's now 17.5. Right? It's almost as though they were sleeping at the switch and they realized or people hammered it. So I put together a same-game parlay because I was like, oh, I like Ohtani, but I couldn't give 22 picks on the show here. So let's go with a same-game parlay as well. Dodgers win. Ohtani over 6.5 strikeouts. Ohtani over 15.5 outs at plus 190. And, here's another one, too, if you really want to get for the hardcores. BC Lions are trying to get a home playoff game in the CFL. There's only 2 games left in a regular season. Parlay, Dodgers, BC Lions, money line parlay, plus 109. We got a lot of things cooking tonight, Wetzel.
Yeah. We also got, Gabe, we got a monster college hockey game going on right now. Boston University and Michigan State, 2 teams ranked in the top 5. How about that?
Let's do AJ Brown. He's seems to be kind of upset with the way things are going. The Eagles will trade AJ Brown at some point this season, buy or sell.
This is what really annoys fans about certain players. Don't you care about winning? All right, he complained last year, won a Super Bowl, right? He's reading books, and he's blah blah blah. He's complaining this year too, and he was complaining while they were winning. Yeah, of course they lost last night to the Giants there, but he had 6 catches, 80 yards, and then I think I heard him come out and say, I don't remember having an offensive meeting with Hurts and Barkley, even though it was reported that they did have a meeting. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't, but if they did have a meeting and he's saying he doesn't, what is going on here? Do you really want to be traded? I mean, grass isn't always greener. They're not going to trade you to a good team, right? You're certainly not going to Detroit, or San Francisco. They're not going to trade you to anybody in their own conference that's good, that could compete with them. So just strange. Do I think he's going to be traded? No. They've come out and said he won't be traded, but that, who cares? That could just be to drive the price up if they really wanted to move him. So I'm going to sell this, but, if he really wants to be dealt, he can make life hard, keep complaining, keep doing this and that, embarrassing everybody, but really strange situation what's going on in Philadelphia. You won a Super Bowl, you'd think you'd be happy for a little bit.
I think that, I don't know, would they do this deal? I think Howie Roseman is not adverse to making deals, but George, wouldn't they have to acquire somebody like AJ Brown to make this kind of trade? I'm going to say sell. I think he's going to stick it out with the team. I think they're going to move him in the offseason.
Fantasy Sports Today. Fridays starting at 3 p.m. Eastern. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe just getting underway. A lot of stuff to bet on, including, as I mentioned, a little college hockey. How about Boston University down 3-1 starting the second period against Michigan State? 2 teams ranked. Although on FanDuel in the top 5, FanDuel you can't bet on that, at least not in New York. You bet on college hockey, you can get on, or you can bet college football, college basketball. They've had some lines for college baseball. For some reason, no college hockey, at least not in New York.
They do. You know what? Maybe it's a New York thing. I was going to say they kind of select from each game, right? It was like, to be real, like they sort of do the high-profile games. Normally, I could bet on every. Yeah, right? Normally I can bet on. Yeah, but I can't. I don't have in-game for it right now either. Right. So, and normally I do, and I don't. I could bet in-game right now on Denver and Lindenwood. Denver Pioneers minus 450 favorites. The Denver Pioneers these guys are one of the best hockey programs in the country as well. You know, that flies under the radar for people who don't follow NCAA hockey, but they've won like 2 championships in the last 5 years. Penn State are like, you know, the big favorite this year, Scott, because they spent all the money. They brought in like the Canadian junior players. They're paying one kid $2 million. Gavin McKenna. It's going to be the number one. He should be the number one pick in the NHL draft next year. So they're paying $2 million. And the Jays are about to get out of this. There was first and second for the Mariners. There was 2 out. We're in the 6th inning right now, so we're going to the top of the 7th, and the Blue Jays have a 2-1 lead here, Scott. This is a massive turning point game, like at 2-2. If you're the Jays and you get this, you go back home feeling great. Imagine that plane ride going back home to Toronto. Hopefully they don't celebrate too much like after they beat the Yankees.
Yeah.
But like they go back home knowing, all right, we've got 2 cracks at this at home. We're a really good home team, and the Mariners are rattled. They've just lost 3 in a row. And that negativity that I talked about that could encapture them hasn't captured them suddenly right now. But if you're the Mariners and you pull this off, then you only need to pull one off. Like, to me, whoever wins this game, Scott, wins the series.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to know the odds or the times it was 2-2 and the Game 5 winner won. I'm guessing, you know, it's a majority of the time. Let's put it that way. Without really having a dog in a fight, like like yourself, I got a Dodger ticket to win it all, and I've gone back and forth, Gabe, on who, you know, I'd rather see the Dodgers face to make it easier for them. But they're both pretty good teams. They really are. Obviously, they're in this spot. I don't know if necessarily one would be any easier for the Dodgers. So I don't really have a dog in a fight outside of my plays every game. But if the Mariners end up not winning this thing, being up 2-0, you know, I do feel for that fan base. So I'm kind of rooting for them a little bit. You know, you're up 2-0. You got games 3, 4, and 5 at home. You're up 2-0 in game 3. You got your aces on the hill. I mean, it's set up.
But let me put it this way. The Blue Jays haven't been in a World Series since 1993.
Yeah, but no one's writing about that, right? I mean, I don't think. But you know they're writing about that in Seattle. They've been talking about that for the entire year, really, since the trade deadline when they picked up all those players.
No, I know people don't feel sorry for the Blue Jays, right? And they don't really get media coverage. And the Seattle story, you know, the Seattle story really doesn't get talked about much either. It does now because they're in the playoffs, right? Listen, they're both kind of long-suffering fan bases. I would think, though, Scott, you know, like you said, I've thought about it a lot too. They both have their strengths. They both have their weaknesses. I got to be honest with you. I don't think either one of these teams would win more than 2 games against the Dodgers. I would say Dodgers in 5 or 6. You know what I mean? Like if it was the Mariners 5, maybe the Jays 6. I'm sort of torn in a way, Scott, that the Pacific Northwest, it does slow the ball down. Like this is not a hitter's park, this park right now in Seattle. Like I'm telling you, it's chilly. It's like you get that the ocean mist, so to speak. The ball doesn't travel as much. You put the Dodger offense in a dome, Scott, indoors in Toronto. That offense could put up a lot of runs on the board. Right? So I'm sort of thinking, man, they play the Jays. The Dodgers are going to score a ton of runs when they play the games in Toronto. They play in Seattle. I don't know. Maybe it gets cold and windy and they sort of, you know, you get the Dodgers, you know, gets to one of the pitchers or something like that. That sort of crossed my mind. They're both really good, you know, I think, you know, but I don't see either team really beating the Dodgers, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
the way it's set up.
Like, you got to beat them 4 out of 7 times, Scott. Like, you can catch them in a 5-game series, a 3-game series. You know what I mean? Like, are all their pitchers really going to be off multiple times in the series? I don't think so.
Yeah. This is like it's going to be the proverbial, the road team is going to be up 3-2. We game 6 and 7 on the road, Gabe. I already see it. Dodgers get a split, right? They're going to be, not have home field advantage, whether it's Toronto or Seattle. I see the Dodgers getting a split in the first 2 games. They're going to go home for 3 games. I think they win 2 out of the 3, and then they go back to Seattle or Toronto up 3-2. I really think that's how it's going to play out.
You know what, though? I'll just throw it out there. That's a lot of losses for the Dodgers when you consider they've lost 1 playoff game.
Yeah, 13-1 they are, Gabe.
They've lost 1 playoff game, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Scott, you want to dig deeper. They're 23-6 now in their last 29 playoff games.
Yeah.
So it's like, you want to, in playoff games. So it's like, you want to beat them 4 out of 7? They're 23-6 in their last 29. Like, they've lost 6 times in the last 29 games, and you got to beat them 4 times in 7 games. Good luck with that.
Yeah. And, when everything was said and done, Gabe, I know they didn't get the 105 wins like they were talking about, right?
They don't care. They didn't care about that.
But you know what? They only got 5 less wins this year than last year. It's not like they had this awful, awful year. Did they live up to expectations of having this crazy year? No, but they only had 5 less than last season. And for a defending champ who knows that it's, the regular season is meaningless, that's probably on par for what teams do the next year. So
yeah, that was on the bettors and the market, so to speak.
Yeah. Listen, I got the over. I bet. I
bet it
why.
Too. It was ironic. You can't make it up. It was the only future I lost. I made like 6 season win totals, and ironically, the only one was the Dodgers. So you can't make up.
Your favorite team.
I won my Athletics. I won the Reds. I won it with all these bad teams. No, Dodgers didn't get there, but we talked about it, Scott. There wasn't a single team that got to 100 wins. It's like a new era now. No one wins 100 anymore.
All right, more coming up in Game Live.
Let's do AJ Brown. He's seems to be kind of upset with the way things are going. The Eagles will trade AJ Brown at some point this season, buy or sell.
This is what really annoys fans about certain players. Don't you care about winning? All right, he complained last year, won a Super Bowl, right? He's reading books, and he's blah blah blah. He's complaining this year too, and he was complaining while they were winning. Yeah, of course they lost last night to the Giants there, but he had 6 catches, 80 yards, and then I think I heard him come out and say, I don't remember having an offensive meeting with Hurts and Barkley, even though it was reported that they did have a meeting. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't, but if they did have a meeting and he's saying he doesn't, what is going on here? Do you really want to be traded? I mean, grass isn't always greener. They're not going to trade you to a good team, right? You're certainly not going to Detroit, or San Francisco. They're not going to trade you to anybody in their own conference that's good, that could compete with them. So just strange. Do I think he's going to be traded? No. They've come out and said he won't be traded, but that, who cares? That could just be to drive the price up if they really wanted to move him. So I'm going to sell this, but, if he really wants to be dealt, he can make life hard, keep complaining, keep doing this and that, embarrassing everybody, but really strange situation what's going on in Philadelphia. You won a Super Bowl, you'd think you'd be happy for a little bit.
I think that, I don't know, would they do this deal? I think Howie Roseman is not adverse to making deals, but George, wouldn't they have to acquire somebody like AJ Brown to make this kind of trade? I'm going to say sell. I think he's going to stick it out with the team. I think they're going to move him in the offseason. I think they're going to move him.
Fantasy Sports Today. Fridays starting at 3 p.m. Eastern. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe, hour number 1. So we got a little baseball, keeping an eye on that. A little college football as well. Miami ranked second, third, depending on which poll you want to believe in, losing at home to Louisville. Louisville, the wise guy pick, tonight. A lot of shrewd customers had Louisville tonight, and so far they're looking good, getting now you're going to have 10 points, and they're actually leading 14-10. We'll get to that. We got a hockey game starting here in about the 10 minutes or so. Chicago and Vancouver. And then in addition to, you got the Red Wings and leading 1-0 over Tampa Bay, and then Washington 1-0 over Minnesota. Those two midway through the second period. So Chicago at home, getting 108 on the money line game. Now, listen, I know everybody's beating Vancouver, so some of these things you got to put into context. But I will say, I'll throw it out there, Vancouver's beaten Chicago 10 straight, as most other teams probably have.
But Vancouver 2-2, Scott. I don't know what you mean. Everybody's beating them.
I'm just giving it out there, just throwing it out there.
What do you mean everybody's beating them? They're 2-2. They played 4 games, so they're 500.
No, I mean, over the last 2, 3, 4 years, they've been awful. So everyone's going to have a winning record against Chicago if you want to go back over the last
against
3,
the
4
Blackhawks.
years.
You're saying everybody. You said everybody's beating Vancouver.
Oh, no. Everyone's beating. I'm sorry. Everyone's beating Chicago.
No, but Chicago are 2-2-1 actually. So not everyone's beating them either. But go on. What's your pick? But they're 2-2-1.
I'll take the team that's beaten another club 10 straight, no matter how easy it's been. Yeah, give me Vancouver on the road minus 130, which is down from minus the 135, 136 it was. I will admit earlier today.
Listen, they played last night. They were down 2-0, right, to the Dallas Stars, the Vancouver Canucks. They came back. They won the game 5-3. So pretty big win for them. Can they go back to back? It's early in the season. You kind of think they probably can. But I don't love it, Scott, to be honest with you. The Blackhawks have been a very competitive team this year. Like, the Blackhawks have either won or they've lost. They haven't lost by more than 1 goal on the season, or they've won the game, right? So they're 2-2-1 on the season. They lost in a shootout in overtime to the Canadians. So they've been competitive, Scott, the Blackhawks. They're actually a play-on team, and that's why the Canucks aren't that big of favorites tonight. It should be noted that Connor Bedard is from Vancouver as well. Right, so this is always a big game for him, right? It's not in Vancouver, but he knows that everybody back home is watching type of deal. So just want to throw that out there. I think that Bedard gets a point tonight. Connor's really playing good hockey to start the season. Let's go over the 0.5 points. It is minus 170. I'm not a fan of this, but this is one, Scott. Shots on goal. Connor Garland of the Vancouver Canucks. The Canucks have played 4 games. And he's gone over 2.5 shots on goal in 3 of the 4 games. The only one he didn't was the first game of the year. So it's like, all right, he had 1 in the first game, 3 in the second, 5 in the third, and he had 3 last night. He shoots the puck a lot, right? And the Canucks kind of don't shoot as much as they should, but both these teams, guys, both give up like the most shots on goal in the NHL. Like, it's a fault of both of them. The Canucks just gave up too many shots because it's a bad habit that they have, and the Blackhawks just aren't very good defensively, but they have a good goalie. So there should be shots on goal tonight, Scott, if you're looking at shots on goal props. So I love Connor Garland, guys, over 2.5 shots on goal at plus 130. And even though I've been losing more than I've been winning this year with the over 1.5 in the first period, I'm going back to it because I'm a stubborn son of a bitch. Give me over 1.5 in the first period of Vancouver and Chicago.
All right. 6.5. That's probably why that line is 6.5, right? Because both teams give up a ton of shot on goals. Whereas if you look at the scores, at least for Chicago, they've been playing lower score games. You've been getting good goaltending. They got a couple. They had to put 8 on the board against St. Louis the other day, which was on the road, no less.
That was an aberration, kind of. But they're kind of offensively challenged. They don't have that many goal scorers, the Blackhawks, right? You've got Bedard. Nazer's really good. Nazer's been lighting it up. But they're trying. They're one of these teams that are trying to play better defensively, and they kind of are, right? You see the scores, right? Yeah. But like I said, Scott, keep your eye on the Blackhawks. Put it this way. They're 2-1 on the season. They've been an underdog in every game that they played this year. They haven't been a favorite yet. And they're 2-1. Yeah. So it says it all. Like, they're making money.
Yeah. There's some weird things going on in Chicago sports-wise. I'll tell you in a second. But I will say, like Bedard's got to shoot some more. I can't tell you how many times I would bet on him. Yeah. How about this, though,
in Chicago?
Yeah. You could probably – I bet I could give most people 20 guesses, and they wouldn't come up with the team that's gone over their team total all 5 games this season. And believe it or not, it's the Chicago Bears. Not Detroit, not Philadelphia, not Dallas. Yeah, the goofy Chicago Bears are the only team that are 5-0 going over their team total.
You're throwing me off here.
No, I'm just not Bears. I'm just telling you how goofy things are happening in Chicago.
Oh.
Let's do AJ Brown. He's seems to be kind of upset with the way things are going. The Eagles will trade AJ Brown at some point this season, buy or sell.
This is what really annoys fans about certain players. Don't you care about winning? All right, he played last year, won a Super Bowl, right? He's reading books, and he's blah blah blah. He's complaining this year too, and he was complaining while they were winning. Yeah, of course they lost last night to the Giants there, but he had 6 catches, 80 yards, and then I think I heard him come out and say, I don't remember having an offensive meeting with Hurts and Barkley, even though it was reported that they did have a meeting. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't, but if they did have a meeting and he's saying he doesn't, what is going on here? Do you really want to be traded? I mean, grass isn't always greener. They're not going to trade you to a good team, right? You're certainly not going to Detroit, or San Francisco. They're not going to trade you to anybody in their own conference that's good, that could compete with them. So just strange. Do I think he's going to be traded? No. They've come out and said he won't be traded, but that, who cares? That could just be to drive the price up if they really wanted to move him. So I'm going to sell this, but, if he really wants to be dealt, he can make life hard, keep complaining, keep doing this and that, embarrassing everybody, but really strange situation what's going on in Philadelphia. You won a Super Bowl, you'd think you'd be happy for a little bit.
I think that, I don't know, would they do this deal? I think Howie Roseman is not adverse to making deals, but George, wouldn't they have to acquire somebody like AJ Brown to make this kind of trade? I'm going to say sell. I think he's going to stick it out with the team. I think they're going to move him in the offseason. I think they're going to move him.
Fantasy Sports Today. Fridays starting at 3 p.m. Eastern. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe, hour number 1. So we got a little bit of everything. Baseball, little hockey. So let's bring in our good buddy, George Kurtz, SportsGrid host. You see it here all the time here on the grid to talk a little pucks, a little baseball. What's going on, George? How are you tonight?
I'm doing well. Looks like they're reviewing the non-home run, which it's not a home run, right? So doing well. This is compared to the last time I was on with you guys, where I think we lost everything. Tonight has been a fantastic night, and good game. It's all about your Dodgers this week, right? The Dodgers have saved me tremendously.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Price now. I have the Dodgers at plus 330 to win the World Series, but now it's minus 200. So either you got to put it in parlays or you just got to wait and say, all right, I'll play the Dodgers minus a game and a half in the World Series, George. Because they're not losing. They're going to beat Seattle or Toronto.
Agreed. I don't see listen, that pitching staff, Snell, Yamamoto, Ohtani. I mean, think about the poor Brewers. You couldn't hit Snell. You couldn't hit Yamamoto. Oh, good. We get to get late. Oh, you get Glass now. Oh, you couldn't hit him. Oh, good luck with Ohtani. I mean, it's not fair. No matter how bad we may think the Dodgers bullpen is, which is not as bad as it was during the regular season, they don't have to get to it. The starters are going 6, 7, 8, 9 innings here. So it's amazing. We said this a lot during the regular season, that for the Dodgers, it was all about October. Nothing else matters. Just be healthier for October, which is what they are, and it's what they're proving they need to be.
Yeah, but people that talked about, the Dodgers bullpen is going to be a problem in the playoffs. It was a bad take, Scott, because I said it, like I said, dude, like anyone that pays attention knows they don't use their bullpen in the playoffs, right? Like they'll go to their starters, and that was the plan. They did last year, but they have a new plan this year. Start the starters till their arms fall off.
Yeah.
Good plan.
They got FanDuel anyway has the hypothetical lines for the World Series. They're a 2-1 favorite over Toronto. Yeah, a 2-1 for the Dodgers over Toronto, and then the Dodgers are minus 190 against Seattle. So basically the same. Both teams, George, have home field advantage, Toronto or Seattle against the Dodgers. So Gabe and I are like, it doesn't matter.
Dare I say, Scott, 2-3-2. 2-3-2. I don't think it's a home field advantage. I think it's a disadvantage.
Neither do I.
But yeah.
Me too. I prefer that almost. I really do. So does either one make you shudder a little bit more, whether it's Seattle or Toronto, George?
No, I agree with what Gabe said first. I think the Dodgers win either way, so I don't think it matters who they play. I mean, theoretically, if the Mariners could have lined up their pitching staff correctly, I mean, you could say they're not the Dodgers, but it's a good staff, right? But I don't know if they're going to be able to do that anyway. That's assuming they even win this series. But they can't hit again, right? They haven't been able to hit the Toronto staff.
The Jays have better bats than the Mariners, though. Let's call that for what it is. At least the Jays, there's a danger that the Jays could have a crooked inning and put big numbers up. Seattle just doesn't really do it.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. The Jays but the Dodgers could have an easier time with the Jays pitching staff, right? So,
I know. And what about this, George? I told Scott a few minutes ago because we were talking about this. I said, they both, the Pacific Northwest, it's a little cooler and colder, so it slows the ball down a little bit. I'm just thinking if you put the Dodgers offense, George, with those short fences in the Rogers Center in a dome in Toronto, they're going to score like 9 runs a game, bro. Like that offense is going to murder the ball in Toronto.
Yeah, we would be taking Dodger team total overs. I don't know if I would take the game overs. I don't know if the Jays would hit the Dodgers pitching staff. So I don't know if I would throw a game.
Like think about it, Scott.
Yes,
Dodger Stadium's a pitcher's park. It's not even. It's kind of neutral, but it's not a hitter's park.
Actually.
How about this, guys?
It's not a hitter's park.
Yeah.
And Toronto is.
Those outfields, yeah. I get into this stuff. Gabe, what do you think? You're the Dodger fan, and George, you're the baseball fan. Do the Dodgers put Clayton Kershaw on the World Series roster? He's finishing his career. Well,
yes.
He was awful in his one outing against Milwaukee.
I know that. I'm not saying you have to pitch him. You don't have to pitch him, but he's got to be on it. Yes.
I'm telling you right now, I like to find a prop with a sports book, Scott, and I already thought about this. Mm-hmm. Clayton Kershaw will be on the hill for the final out when the Dodgers win the World Series.
Ooh. I don't know about that.
We're up 3-0, 7-1.
Dodgers up. No, Dodgers up 11-2, 8-1. Yeah, no, I'm not saying bottom of the ninth, bases loaded against Vlad Guerrero Jr. to bring Kershaw in.
Right.
No, I'm saying,
I don't think they have much of a problem with this. So I think they could do that for. I think he's definitely on the roster. He has to be.
He'll be on the roster.
But the final
he'll be on the roster and pitch in a route. If the Dodgers were up in a route, I think they would give him sort of that curtain call.
Agreed.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they can't let him finish his career that way, right? That's just not right. So, all right, any hope for Seattle tonight here, Joe? What is going on with the Mariners? They're 2-1. They're not hitting. They're at home. This team was one of the top 5 home run hitters in baseball and everything else, and they can't hit a lick. Down 2-1, down to their final 9 outs. Well, 6 outs now. Top of the 8th they go, down 2-1 against Toronto.
Right, the pitching's been fine. I mean, I know Gabe tweeted this out earlier, and I completely agree. I think they removed Bryce Miller too early again, which you keep seeing this throughout the playoffs here. But that's not the problem. He's going to give 2 runs through 7 innings. You're going to take that every damn time. And we thought they solved the offensive problems when they acquired Naylor, acquired Suarez, but they're just not getting the hitting here. And if you watch the game now, they're all trying to hit a home run. They're all trying to tie the game up rather than get on base here and play baseball here. But they're all trying to get the game tying home run. It's a good offense. I mean, Arozarena, Raleigh, J-Rod, Naylor, Suarez, Polanco's been as hot as anybody outside of Vladimir Guerrero.
Really struggling, right? They dropped him in the
really
lineup.
Nothing guy. He's either going to hit a home run or he's not.
But you see, he's swinging at air. Like, they're not good at bats. Like, he's confused type of thing. Like, he's swinging at bad pitches. They put J-Rod in the bat-offs, in the leadoff spot tonight. And they dropped Arozarena to like 6th or 7th or whatever it was to shake things up. But Naylor's been pretty good in this series, Scott, but George is right. And hey, I said the same thing. We saw the same thing with the Blue Jays, right? When they were in Toronto, they started to try to play hero ball. This is a bizarro series, guys, where the road team is about to win every game so far. So maybe going back to Toronto is maybe the grass isn't greener back in Toronto if you're the Jays right now, Scott. Like, if I'm the Mariners, I'd be like, I don't want to play here. I'm glad we're going back to Toronto. We just lost 3 times in a row here. Let's shake things up and go back there where we won.
Yeah. Every guy in the Seattle lineup, except for 2, is hitting 225 or less in the postseason. You look at their lineup tonight, 200, 225, 150, 179, 111, 091, 206. I mean, that's the one thing.
They were lucky to beat the Tigers. It was only last Friday at this time. It's easy to forget, right, Scott? It was last week at this time. They went 15 innings. They couldn't score against it. They're lucky to be in this series.
They are. It's weird because the home road thing is strange, and their first 2 games, you had Bryce Miller going game 1 on 3 days rest, right? Then Gilbert on game 2, 3 days rest. And I thought that was a bad move by them. I thought it was terrible, but they won those games. It looked like to be their severe advantage now going back to Seattle because now they had their starting staff, their guys, Castillo and Kirby both going on regular rest here, right? Things are going to work out well. I think Gabe said it's been a bizarro series, the exact opposite of what I would have thought happened here. Although I did have the Jays winning the series, but I thought the Jays would win the first 2 at home because the Seattle pitching staff was a mess. Never would have thought.
I don't think Wilson has handled it well, George. As I tweeted earlier, it's been constant. Even you bring Brian Wu, and Brian Wu hasn't pitched in forever. What, like you don't drop him in the middle of the game like this. I don't mind starting a guy playing. Scherzer didn't pitch in a while, but it's awkward. It's just. It seems like the shaking the lineup today, a little desperation type of stuff. It's like, guys, we got this far now. Now you're doing this, really? It's like changing hockey lines in the playoffs. It just pisses the players off.
7 runs in 3 home games so far. They're in the 8th inning. We'll talk with George about hockey when we come back.
Let's do AJ Brown. He's seems to be kind of upset with the way things are going. The Eagles will trade AJ Brown at some point this season, buy or sell.
This is what really annoys fans about certain players. Don't you care about winning? All right, he played last year, won a Super Bowl, right? He's reading books, and he's blah blah blah. He's complaining this year too, and he was complaining while they were winning. Yeah, of course they lost last night to the Giants there, but he had 6 catches, 80 yards, and then I think I heard him come out and say, I don't remember having an offensive meeting with Hurts and Barkley, even though it was reported that they did have a meeting. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But if they did have a meeting and he's saying he doesn't, what is going on here? Do you really want to be traded? I mean, grass isn't always greener. They're not going to trade you to a good team, right? You're certainly not going to Detroit, or San Francisco. They're not going to trade you to anybody in their own conference that's good, that could compete with them. So just strange. Do I think he's going to be traded? No. They've come out and said he won't be traded, but that, who cares? That could just be to drive the price up if they really wanted to move him. So I'm going to sell this, but, if he really wants to be dealt, he can make life hard, keep complaining, keep doing this and that, embarrassing everybody, but really strange situation what's going on in Philadelphia. You won a Super Bowl, you'd think you'd be happy for a little bit.
I think that, I don't know, would they do this deal? I think Howie Roseman is not adverse to making deals, but George, wouldn't they have to acquire somebody like AJ Brown to make this kind of trade? I'm going to say sell. I think he's going to stick it out with the team. I think they're going to move him in the offseason.
Fantasy Sports Today. Fridays starting at 3 p.m. Eastern. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe chat with our good buddy George Kurtz, Sports Grid host. So we'll put the baseball aside, then we'll keep an eye on that, obviously. We got some hockey games here. One just getting underway. We got one that'll start in a little bit and two that are in progress. George, we'll start with the one that's just underway. Chicago at home against Vancouver. Canucks have beaten the Blackhawks 10 straight. As I was telling Gabe, most teams have. Well, let's face it, Chicago hasn't been a good hockey team. But they're at home. They're playing better this year. They're 5-0 on the puck line, is Chicago. They're getting plus 108, Vancouver minus 136. Any interest?
I mean, yeah, I have. Of course, I have only 4 hockey games tonight, so I definitely had interest there. You're also getting the backup goaltender for Vancouver, not Demko, though Lankinen's pretty good himself here. That being said, I still took the Canucks. All right, they're the better team. They need to win games. They're in a tough conference. They can't afford to lose games with teams they should win. Had a big win last night against Dallas. I think the Canucks will follow it up tonight. Smaller bet, but I took the Canucks.
One thing about the Canucks, Scott, with Lankinen, Demko is better. Like, Demko's an elite goalie. Right. When he's not, Demko's problem is he's had weird health issues. He had a weird injury that they had to go to a clinic in Switzerland to what I mean? Like he was flying around the world type of thing. To they were like, yeah, he's got to go see a doctor in Germany now. And he was going all over the world to see specialists. And it's been like a year and a half of this stuff. But when he plays, 2 years ago, that's why I misunderstood when you talked about the Canucks not being, I said 2 years ago, they were in game 7 in the second round, right? Of the playoffs, and Demko was hurt then. The Canucks were on the verge. Demko's finally healthy, guys. He's one of the best American goalies, Georgia, actually, right? America is very deep, the Olympic roster. America has a lot deeper talent pool between the net than Canada does, which is pretty crazy, but much deeper. But Demko's an elite goalie, but Lankinen is freaking good. Lankinen was basically the starter last year, and he was really good. He hit the wall eventually, and he got sick and stuff, and he kind of hit the wall, but not a big drop-off. And it is early in the season, Kurtz, so back-to-back might not be a big problem here right now. And the Canucks are a good road team.
We got George? Nope. All right, no question. I just thought you were going to respond there, George. All right. San Jose and Utah. Okay, yeah, there you go. San Jose and Utah starting in about 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes. Another one of those situations where Sharks, they've been competitive. They're 0-3, but they have 2 overtime losses, so they got themselves a couple of points. The only winless team, that's starting to build up with the Islanders winning last night. Minus 265, you can get Utah right around minus 160 to win in regulation.
Yeah, well, listen, we're not going to leave the minus 265 with Utah, right? And I think Utah does win the game. I think they're the better team. Not a great team, but the better team. Maybe even a team that could possibly, if things go well, fight for a wild card spot there, a playoff spot there in the West, but really tough in that conference here. I think you're going to take this game. You're looking at the goal line here, right? Minus 106. I do like the over, and we're getting even money on the over. I think we're going to get some goals tonight as well. So that's where I'm going to attack. I have Keller for an anytime goal as well for Utah.
This might be one of these games, Scott, where getting away, San Jose going on the road. They're not going to lose every game. Right? They're not going to lose every game. The only thing is we go over the trends on a daily basis in the NHL, and I did it today. This isn't a road favorite, but favorites underdogs haven't done well so far this year. If you're an underdog bettor in the NHL, so George, you must be doing well as a favorite bettor.
Bad for Cam.
Oh.
Did he get
What
it?
do we got?
Boom!
Did he get it?
We got a tie game. 2-2.
Ooh, first row. With
Seattle, home run.
Seattle.
Barely got
Seattle's
over the
alive.
wall. I swear, across my mind, I was like, man, I think they're going to hit a home run. And if you recall, and Vinny, our boy Vinny, can attest, there's, the big dumper. But Vinny can attest. And I don't know if you heard, Scott. I know we had some technical issues earlier, but I said, I have a feeling this game's going to go to extra innings and be like last week. They're so evenly matched. It was last Friday night, guys, that the Tigers and the Mariners went into it. Hit me earlier in the game when everybody was starting the innings off with leadoff doubles in this game and not scoring. I was like, this is just like the Tiger game against the Mariners last Friday. I was like, oh, man, it was a week ago today only. Baseball really comes out as fast. They bang these games off quickly. You notice, too, every home run in this series, guys, almost looks like it's going to be caught, huh?
Yeah.
I was boy, is it caught? Every one of them are just barely over the wall.
Tell you, he's having a hell of a postseason. You know, if they don't win,
he's living
it's
up
not
to it.
because Cal Raleigh. Yeah, I mean, he really has.
So
he's
is
the one that's
J-Rod.
hitting 3 and change.
That's why it's weird. We're complaining about their offense. Raleigh's hitting, J-Rod's hitting. It's everybody else, and it even Gabe said Naylor is hitting.
Naylor's
He's
hitting
hitting
324 in the series. J-Rod really wasn't hitting, but he's hit a couple of big home runs, which means he's hitting, right?
He's hit 200,
he's had a couple of big home runs. He's had timely key home runs. And speaking of not hitting, Ohtani is batting right now. Batting and pitching, batting leadoff.
He hasn't been hitting. A little reach out poke triple last night. Started things
I know
well.
the fluke,
lucky hit.
the good luck triple. Yeah.
Looks like a line drive.
I know. I
score.
bet him. I took him 1.5 total bases. I hit it
Yeah.
because he was due, right? I mean, the guy was 4 for 28 or whatever.
I took everybody on the Dodgers in total bases tonight. Ohtani, Betts, Freeman, Muncy, Teoscar Hernandez hit a home run. I think they killed Quintana tonight.
They actually don't. They don't hit him. Believe it or not, they don't have good numbers against him. But I don't think he'll be in the game long, anyways.
Well, probably lefty versus lefty, Ohtani and Freeman. But I will say, man, this is nothing earth-shattering. But Ohtani's a big dude. I keep on thinking like Ichiro. I still can't get that out of my mind. Right? Where Ichiro's this small little guy. He's a monster. Yeah, I mean, Aaron Judge doesn't have.
Oh my goodness!
A lot on him. Home run.
Ohtani
ahead of us.
Leads the game off. Crushes.
I'm still seeing the pitch now. There it is. Cash that. Wow. Where'd that go?
He's just unbelievable. I really.
You and I talk about it. For the record, Scott, I've seen him in person a couple of times. He looks like a football player. Like
that's what I mean. He's
like
huge.
people say like he looks like a tight end. He's like they list him 6'5". He looks like he's 6'6". He looks like an NBA player, Scott, in real life almost. You're like, this guy looks like an NBA player. Yeah,
like almost like LeBron, right? That
he's
big,
wide, he's
shoulders.
big, he's tall. Yeah. Like you're like, oh my God, this guy's big. But remember Wetzel, we talk about it. He's almost better at the plate, George, when he pitches. It's crazy.
Yes.
You figure, it's going to be a distraction. No, look, he's pitching, and he just led the game off with a home run.
He's a freak. We've never seen anything like this before.
Great. George, great job, man. We'll do it again soon. Enjoy the weekend.
Anytime.
Let's do AJ Brown. He's seems to be kind of upset with the way things are going. The Eagles will trade AJ Brown at some point this season, buy or sell.
This is what really annoys fans about certain players. Don't you care about winning? All right, he played last year, won a Super Bowl, right? He's reading books, and he's blah blah blah. He's complaining this year too, and he was complaining while they were winning. Yeah, of course they lost last night to the Giants there, but he had 6 catches, 80 yards, and then I think I heard him come out and say, I don't remember having an offensive meeting with Hurts and Barkley, even though it was reported that they did have a meeting. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But if they did have a meeting and he's saying he doesn't, what is going on here? Do you really want to be traded? I mean, grass isn't always greener. They're not going to trade you to a good team, right? You're certainly not going to Detroit, or San Francisco. They're not going to trade you to anybody in their own conference that's good, that could compete with them. So just strange. Do I think he's going to be traded? No. They've come out and said he won't be traded, but that, who cares? That could just be to drive the price up if they really wanted to move him. So I'm going to sell this, but, if he really wants to be dealt, he can make life hard, keep complaining, keep doing this and that, embarrassing everybody, but really strange situation what's going on in Philadelphia. You won a Super Bowl, you'd think you'd be happy for a little bit.
I think that, I don't know, would they do this deal? I think Howie Roseman is not adverse to making deals, but George, wouldn't they have to acquire somebody like AJ Brown to make this kind of trade? I'm going to say sell. I think he's going to stick it out with the team. I think they're going to move him in the offseason.
Fantasy Sports Today. Fridays starting at 3 p.m. Eastern. Only on SportsGrid.
right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe, thanks again. George Kirk, Sports Grid host. You see it here all the time on the grid. So Ohtani hits the home run. You know that. Dodgers got runners on first and third. Nobody out against Quintana. With Freddie Freeman batting, this is when you really appreciate how great their lineup is. So things are looking good for you, Gabe. At least you got your Dodgers winning. I don't know, as far as college football fan, you got Michigan. They're not playing tonight, but how's all your plays going here? Seems to be that you got a nice little homegrown parlay going.
Yeah, I put together the Morency special, which I don't often do.
Okay.
But I already have the Dodgers to win the World Series, but I want more. And I'm mad I didn't bet more on it. And so I'm like, all right, I got to start jumping in on this. So I can't play it at minus 200, Scott, right? You know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, I'll play it at minus 1.5 games, whatever, when the World Series pops up, when the odds are out for that. But I want to get a head start on this. So I'm thinking, all right, let's put some parlays in, and boom, there's Dodgers with another hit. So 2-0 Dodgers right now. Runners on first and second with one out. There's Tommy Edman with an RBI single. Dodgers aren't playing around tonight. They've got the killer look. So I'm a big Vancouver Whitecaps, Scott, fan. Remember, I keep telling you, Scott, whether you watch soccer or not, bro, they haven't lost since August the 9th. Where are we at now? I remember telling you about
October.
this in mid-September type thing. Here we are in mid-October. They haven't not lost since. They have not lost a game since August the 9th, the Whitecaps. All they need is a draw or a win tomorrow in the final game of the season, and they wrap up top seed in the Western Conference. So I'm playing this one safe, Scott. I got them plus half a goal. They tie the game, I win the bet, right? Plus half a goal. My Michigan Wolverines to beat the Washington Huskies tomorrow. Michigan, they're not, they're not on top of the college football world, but this guy hasn't fallen on them either. They'll be fine. So they're going to beat Washington tomorrow. LA Dodgers to win the World Series, and my BC Lions to win the football game tonight in a must-win game for them. So I got 4 teams. Vancouver, I'm a fan. The Whitecaps, Michigan, LA Dodgers, BC Lions. $280 pays $1,000. I want to get $1,000 back on it. So $280 pays $1,000 on it.
I was going to say, why not 275 or 300? But okay, that makes sense for the $1,000.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I actually have a little bit of OCD about that too. It bothered me that it was 1,001. So sometimes I want it to just be like an even, I'm like, no, I just want it to be, say, 2,000. I don't like looking at it when it's like 2,000, like 76 cents. So I'm actually insane enough, Scott, and I don't think it's a healthy thing, where I get mad and I start adjusting, all right, $482.17. Right? You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, there it is, exactly 1,000, right? And sometimes I can't get it. I'm like, all right, I'll live with it. It's 1,001 cents, right? But it's like an OCD thing I have.
They don't have the column to win at Bet365?
No, they don't.
Really?
I used to like that better. That's much better, right? You just put to win, and good call. The old sort of offshore books do that more than the modern ones do.
Right. FanDuel's got that. I will say that they do have that. And sometimes
you're right.
it's
They did. I remember on the kiosk, I used to use that to win. You're right. Boom.
Yeah.
I like the even number to win, Scott. Let's win 250. Let's win 500. Let's win 1,000. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't like, what I mean? I'd rather an even number than, I won 479. It's like, no. We got 500 back, 250. I like to keep the units sort of close together.
Nice and even. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. So Dodgers up 2-0.
3 now.
Check that.
3 now.
3-0.
Oh.
They even got Freddie Freeman to strike out. 3.5 minus 136. Over.
See, it was 3.5. Let's see. I got a 4.5 now, but it's plus 110.
Seattle's got the bases loaded, nobody out.
Oh, wow. This game is turning quickly. Let's go back to see the Pacific Northwest.
Scott, my over 7 is still alive.
I don't care what time you start the games. I remember I told you before, I'm tired of the complaining of Ohio State,
right.
We're on big noon again and noon 12, and why are we playing at 8 o'clock? It's like, shut up, man. You're playing when the schedule tells you to play. It is what it is. Just shut up and play.
You're cashing the checks for the network, so don't stop complaining.
Yeah, but from a fan perspective with his baseball, I think it's criminal that these games are going on at the same time right now.
Yeah.
Criminal.
I know. We talked about it yesterday.
Yeah, the bases loaded. You don't want to miss Ohtani batting in a home run, but the bases are loaded. You're putting fans in a horrible spot, man. It's not right. And think about dumb sports bars and stuff that will already have one game on and they don't want to change it. It's a pain in the ass for people, this. Just like start this game earlier, for F's sakes, man. It's not that hard.
Why would you?
Who cares? Start the game at 4 in the afternoon in Seattle today. Whatever, man. 1 o'clock in Seattle, 4 Eastern.
Round. This is not the first round. This is the semifinals.
Yeah, it's the biggest game of the year. Biggest game of the year. It's 2-2.
Let's do AJ Brown. He's seems to be kind of upset with the way things are going. The Eagles will trade AJ Brown at some point this season, buy or sell.
This is what really annoys fans about certain players. Don't you care about winning? All right, he complained last year, won a Super Bowl, right? He's reading books, and he's blah blah blah. He's complaining this year too, and he was complaining while they were winning. Yeah, of course they lost last night to the Giants there, but he had 6 catches, 80 yards, and then I think I heard him come out and say, I don't remember having an offensive meeting with Hurts and Barkley, even though it was reported that they did have a meeting. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't, but if they did have a meeting and he's saying he doesn't, what is going on here? Do you really want to be traded? I mean, grass isn't always greener. They're not going to trade you to a good team, right? You're certainly not going to Detroit, or San Francisco. They're not going to trade you to anybody in their own conference that's good, that could go compete with them. So just strange. Do I think he's going to be traded? No. They've come out and said he won't be traded, but that, who cares? That could just be to drive the price up if they really wanted to move him. So I'm going to sell this, but, if he really wants to be dealt, he can make life hard, keep complaining, keep doing this and that, embarrassing everybody, but really strange situation what's going on in Philadelphia. You won a Super Bowl, you'd think you'd be happy for a little bit.
I think that, I don't know, would they do this deal? I think Howie Roseman is not adverse to making deals, but George, wouldn't they have to acquire somebody like AJ Brown to make this kind of trade? I'm going to say sell. I think he's going to stick it out with the team. I think they're going to move him in the offseason. I think they're going to move him.
Fantasy Sports Today. Fridays starting at 3 p.m. Eastern. Only on SportsGrid.
Hi, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the grid, right on cue while we're in break.
Yeah, commercial break. Grant.
Yeah, right. You're picking up from last night.
One of the biggest hits in Major League Baseball postseason history, Scott. We miss it during a break again. Always.
We were in break again.
Literally.
Yeah.
Biggest. Is this not the biggest hit in Mariners history?
Probably.
I mean,
right?
We go back to they danced close against the Yankees there years ago, right? But. Dude, they never made it to the World Series. This is their last home game of the championship series, win or lose. They're not coming back home again. And they just hit a grand effing slam, Suarez, who wasn't doing anything, right? They traded for him, and now, he's doing something now. He just did something now.
He really did. He was great for Arizona, right? And that was the piece that everyone said, okay, they had to really bargain to get him. Everyone wanted him. He really didn't have
I remember I bet his first game, Scott, in Arizona. I was like, he's going to want to make a statement here. And I was like, all right, he didn't let's go with a second game. I gave up after like 5 or 7 games. I hung with it for like a week. The guy was hitting like 114, man, for a month.
Yeah, and he had played for Seattle too, so it's not like it was foreign and getting used to
you and
whatever.
I talked about it, actually. Remember, they got him and they couldn't score suddenly. We're like, this is the bizarro world. Like, they can't score this team. They're a weird team, Seattle. They can't score, but what they do, they do hit home runs every once in a while. They had like the 3rd most home runs in the league this year. I know Cal carried it, but still, you can argue, Tawny carried the Dodgers and the Judge carried it. Home runs are home runs. And, exactly. And we've seen they have come up with home runs, Scott, right? J-Rod's got 2 big 3-run shots in this series. Naylor's hit a big home run. Suarez has hit a big home run. Suarez hit a home run earlier in this game, didn't he? Rally. They're getting by on the long ball.
Yeah. Suarez got 2 homers now, or 2 homers. He homered early, and
I
Raul,
thought you'd hear that because it was the first one. It's the second of the night, actually. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
This
a
is
wrap.
good,
What we
Gabe.
doing?
I like this setup, without really having a dog in a fight. I like because it brings up the great argument. Would you rather be down 3-2 but have 6 and 7 at home, or up 3-2 but have 6 and 7 on the road? And that's barring a crazy comeback here by Toronto, top of the ninth. That's what you're gonna get. So neither.
Doesn't it feel like it's going 7? I said it on Twitter today. Feels like this series going 7 to me. I think the Jays. I don't know the pitching. No, I do know the pitching. Actually, it's Savage for the Jays.
It's pretty good.
So who would it be? Is it Kirby up next or Gilbert? Is it Kirby or Gilbert next?
Who pitched the game number 1? I think
Nelson
Gilbert
pitched game 1. So who pitched game 2? Was it Kirby game 2?
Let me see. Let me go to their box score here. Game number 2.
Games.
That's the game they won 10-3. Yeah, I know. Too many teams, too many games. That's the game they won 10-3. That was a blowout.
I think it was Gilbert game 2. I think it was Gilbert. You looking now? I think it was Gilbert.
Yeah, it was Gilbert.
It was. Yeah. So it would be Gilbert. It would be Gilbert and then Kirby game 7 for them, I guess. So Gilbert and Kirby are the 2 they have left. And then you have the Jays with your Savage, and then who knows what they do.
Yeah. We talked about Scherzer, but he's not going out there. Yeah, it would be Monday. I'd be a great Monday night for us. 2 football games, NFL, Game 7.
An elimination game to go to the World Series?
Yeah, that's not bad.
It screws me up, though, even though it's expensive. I've been flip-flopping on it. I can't go. Listen, the Dodgers are in the World Series a lot. I can't go all the time, Scott. You know what I mean? I want to go. You know what I mean? But, dude, I wish in a way, Scott Boras brought it up, and a lot of people thought it was a dumb idea. I actually didn't think it was a terrible idea. What do you think of a World Series at a neutral site? Sort of like the Super Bowl, so you could plan your trip.
Right.
In advance. You know what I mean? You can sort of have a baseball festival for a week or 2. People say, what about the home fans? 1. And I'm thinking, you know what, though? If you're a fan, let's just say you put the World Series in Vegas. All 7 games are in Vegas, neutral field. And, you could go and say, I'm going to go for games 1 and 2. I'm going to go for games 5 and 6. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Would you be able to sell that out?
I don't know.
You probably would. I mean, baseball's a lot. That's 50 anyway.
I know.
50,000, 7 games.
I didn't mind. You're right, though. Maybe there's a way to do this in another way. You know what I mean? But
how about 1? How about game 1, and then there's no home field advantage, because I don't think that's fair anyway. Give 3 to the American League, 3 to the National League, and then the first game is your, Las Vegas, LA, wherever you want to, pick a site. And then that could be the hoopla where the casual fan can go.
Well, people bitch, Scott. Remember the COVID year? People complained. Same with the NBA. And I thought it was the most fairest playoffs ever. There was no bias with the refs. There was no fans. There was no road trip. There was no excuses. It really was basketball at its most primal. Bunch of guys in a gym, Scott. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't but no, it's we're all in the same bubble. We're all in the same hotel. We all have the same food. We have the exact same everything. There's no excuses. We all have the exact same conditions. It's it wasn't the same. It doesn't. What do you mean it doesn't count? What, because you didn't have your home bias of your crowd or whatever?
Right.
What do you mean? What, you just can't play in a gym without, I didn't mind the bubble stuff. Same with the hockey, Scott. Take all the fans out of it, fine. Bunch of teams on a rink, let's see who the best team is. I don't know how you feel, but I didn't look any worse. And I even respected the COVID win teams because it was a unique situation and they found a way to win.
I only butt heads with it because LeBron won, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, exactly. If the Celtics won, you'd be like, shut up. It was a real,
Exactly. It was real, it was pure, it was all that good stuff. The only
thing I'll say, Scott, with LeBron and the Lakers, I think it was an advantage for them because they were older and stuff. LeBron, traveling, it probably wouldn't have ended well. And he had 3 months off. Don't forget, guys, basically everyone had 3 months off before the playoffs. Remember, they came back for a stupid week, and then they started the playoffs? Yeah. So I'm not naive and going to say it didn't help LeBron there, but it wasn't like he had an advantage. I mean, everyone else had 3 months off too, right? I mean, it wasn't like he was the only one.
Hey, and honestly, that team was good because AD came to play. He wasn't hurt. He actually tried, and
Caldwell
he
Pope was good hitting the three, Scott. They were a good team. Like, it wasn't like they were a fluke. They were good.
Right. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's kind of funny because with LeBron, I'm like, no, it doesn't.
I know, you're like, no. If it was anyone else, you'd be like, no, that's a real title.
Yeah. I don't bring that up with the hockey at all. I forget who won the hockey one.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you. Because I've gotten into it with people. I'm not even a LeBron guy. I lean more. I'm more of a LeBron basher. I'm not a hater, but more of a basher if I can. But I brought it up a million times, Scott, that because people, it's not a real. For whatever reason, the Dodgers one didn't count, right? For some reason, it wasn't a real one. All right, F you. Was last year real? Will this be real? All right. LeBron, everyone said the same thing. And I said the same thing, Scott said. So it's funny. I've never heard one person ever say the Tampa Bay Lightning Stanley Cups aren't real.
Yeah. Tampa Bay.
No one ever said, the Lightning won in a hub. It didn't count. No one ever said that.
Yeah, it's amazing. Now they'd won before, but still.
Because LeBron's not on the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah.
Right, like they don't have that.
He was there rooting them on.
And
like
if it was
he's always
KD,
in all these
there's certain
places.
guys who'd be like, shut up, KD.
Yeah,
Doesn't count.
KD, yeah. That doesn't count. Yeah, absolutely. That's why, in a strange sort of way, I hope Houston wins this year, just so we can say, no, it doesn't count, KD. You can't keep on going from these team to teams and picking, your spots to win.
No, but Houston haven't won in so long.
Go back to the Brooklyn Nets and win. Then you'll be declared a champion. Good luck with that. So, how about Miami still losing, Gabe? Midway through third, like I said at the top, this was a wise guy pick.
The hipsters betted down to 10.5. It was 14 earlier in the week. You're right.
Yeah, then so far they're on. And Minnesota leads Nebraska.
You know what, though, Scott? Like we all know, I talked about this earlier in the week on my podcast about, Miami always has that one game a year, right, where there's the scare, the Mario Cristobal game, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, all right, they scatter better, but it's going to be a scare. They're not used to playing on Friday nights either. I get that, but they're just so damn good this year, Scott. I thought they would roll Louisville.
Yeah, and it's not even a look-ahead spot. They got Stanford next week, so that can't even be an excuse.
Let's do AJ Brown. He's seems to be kind of upset with the way things are going. The Eagles will trade AJ Brown at some point this season, buy or sell.
This is what really annoys fans about certain players. Don't you care about winning? All right, he played last year, won a Super Bowl, right? He's reading books, and he's blah blah blah. He's complaining this year too, and he was complaining while they were winning. Yeah. Of course they lost last night to the Giants there, but he had 6 catches, 80 yards, and then I think I heard him come out and say, I don't remember having an offensive meeting with Hurts and Barkley, even though it was reported that they did have a meeting. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't, but if they did have a meeting and he's saying he doesn't, what is going on here? Do you really want to be traded? I mean, grass isn't always greener. They're not going to trade you to a good team, right? You're certainly not going to Detroit, or San Francisco. They're not going to trade you to anybody in their own conference that's good, that could go compete with them. So just strange. Do I think he's going to be traded? No. They've come out and said he won't be traded, but that, who cares? That could just be to drive the price up if they really wanted to move him. So I'm going to sell this, but, if he really wants to be dealt, he can make life hard, keep complaining, keep doing this and that, embarrassing everybody, but really strange situation what's going on in Philadelphia. You won a Super Bowl, you'd think you'd be happy for a little bit.
I think that, I don't know, would they do this deal? I think Howie Roseman is not adverse to making deals, but George, wouldn't they have to acquire somebody like AJ Brown to make this kind of trade? I'm going to say sell. I think he's going to stick it out with the team. I think they're going to move him in the offseason.
Fantasy Sports Today. Fridays starting at 3 p.m. Eastern. Only on SportsGrid.
right, welcome back. It is in-game live game day here on the grid. So a little college football here. It's still 3-0. The game is over 6-2. Seattle did win, so they're up 3-2 now, heading back to Toronto for games 6 and 7. So college football, yeah, Louisville 17-10. Midway through the third quarter, they're at their own 12-yard line.
Upset alert. Well, I'm saying Miami's on upset alert right now. Coming into this week of college football, Scott, there's 11 undefeated teams left. 11.
Are there really?
Miami.
I wouldn't have said that many.
Can you guess them? You think you can rattle them off?
Miami, Ohio State, Georgia. No, Georgia lost. There's got to be someone in the SEC, right? No, I can't rattle them off. But
Ohio State,
11.
Ohio State, Indiana, State, all 6-0. Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, Ole Miss are still undefeated. Even though they only won by 3 against Washington State last week, they're still undefeated. Miami on the ropes right now. Georgia Tech 6-0, Texas Tech 6-0, BYU 6-0, Memphis Tigers 6-0. Good call, Navy 6-0. And one that shocks me, and they're still undefeated, but they play at Boise State tomorrow. The UNLV Running Rebels are 6-0.
Yeah. They won 10 in a row dating back to last year, I think. So
9-1 against the spread too, Scott. Like, they're just a money-making team, this team. Like, and an over machine. We saw last week. They didn't cover last week, actually. They were favorites, but 51-48. They got balls, this team, though. They came back late on Air Force a bunch of times. That was a wild ending.
Yeah. 6.5-point favorites. They were, but they ended up winning. Yeah, I think that's the longest winning streak in the nation. Believe it or not, now that Oregon's lost. In fact, I even think it was beforehand because they had lost to Ohio State earlier. So yeah,
I've got some
UNLV.
I've got some college picks. I know you got your opposite picks coming up. My Dean's list's a little shorter right now. I'm going to get into it a little bit more in the morning, obviously, but there's a bunch of big games, so we'll be on at noon, and Scott will come on at 3. Me and Cam Stewart and company will be on at noon Eastern. And, here's another team, Scott, that they're not undefeated, but they've only lost one game this year. This is the Houston Cougars. Willie Fritz is a really good coach, and all they've done is one game. Their one loss is to the Texas Tech Red Raiders. No shame in that. Like, Houston are another one of these teams that they're still right in this mix with everybody. They're getting a point as Arizona visits them. Arizona are okay. Arizona are a much better team at home. This is a winnable game for the Houston Cougars. They got lit up last time on their home field by Texas Tech. This is not Texas Tech. Give me the Houston Cougars +1. And people have been critical of Houston's offense. It's not like they run and shoot anymore, but they have scored 27 or more points in 5 of their 6 football games this year. Give me Arizona and Houston over 47.5. Vanderbilt hosting LSU. I don't think much of LSU. They're always overrated. Vanderbilt fell short against Bama, but this is a good spot for them on their home field. And interesting as well, Vanderbilt are 13-2 straight up the last 15 home games when they're the favorite. So they're only a 2.5-point favorite here in this game. You can take Vanderbilt on the money line -135. My Michigan Wolverines is down to 4 right now against Washington. Washington don't travel well. This is a payback spot for last year. I can see it being a carbon copy games of last year of Michigan going into Seattle. It was kind of close, but Michigan were always kind of a little bit behind and ended up losing 27-17. I don't think Michigan are going to drill Washington, but I could see Michigan winning this game 31-24 type of thing. I think it's going to go over to the 47.5, but I think Michigan will cover the number. They kind of have to, too. It's a big game for Coach Moore. Otherwise, that hot seat's going to start to heat up for him already, believe it or not. And here's an upset special on the way out. Oklahoma and South Carolina. It's just going to be a smash-mouth, low-scoring game. And you'll like this trend, Wetzel. Games that have been played on campus in the SEC. So I like how it's on campus specifically. 14-6-1 against the spread. Underdog home dogs are 4-1-1 against the spread on campus. Makes a big difference, Scott, whether you're playing in the Georgia Dome or whether you got the students on campus and stuff like that. So I think Oklahoma are on upset alert in this game. I think South Carolina are going to play with them. It's going to be a low-scoring game, so give me the 5.5 points.
Yeah, it's not been the year that I think people thought they were going to get out of Sellers in South Carolina. Give the kid credit. He stuck there. He stayed there. Didn't go. I don't know if he necessarily could have gotten pro, but he got offered a ton of money to go elsewhere. He did the right thing, if you will. But I've watched
but you know what that was,
games,
Scott?
Gabe,
That's the media. That's the media being late to the wedding and early for the funeral. Anybody that really knew South Carolina football coming into this year knew that it was going to be a tough year for Sellers, which is even crazier that he went back there because he knew he was going to be in a tough spot. They don't have they kind of peaked. They lost a ton of players. They're just not the same team this year, point blank.
They got a brutal schedule, too.
Yeah, it's not like, they're a disappointment. I guess they are to outsiders. You know what I mean? But, people inside the program knew, this is not going to be as much of a party as last year was.
Yeah. It's hard. You get a bullseye on your back, and the schedule this year, I'll have to look it up, but I know it was just they had 6 or 7 ranked teams on the schedule. It was not, Vandy's got the same thing. But, they had to play Vandy, Missouri, LSU, Oklahoma, Alabama, Ole Miss, Texas A&M. I mean, listen, I know it's the SEC, so you're going to get some. But I don't see any, Mississippi State's on there. Where are those?
Well, compare that to Missouri's schedule, that Missouri still haven't played a road game yet. Still.
Yeah.
They finally do tomorrow night against Auburn. But I saw something funny, Hawaii, Scott, have already traveled 25,000 miles on the season. Auburn have traveled 0 miles on the season. Missouri going to Auburn this week. So it's their first trip of the year.
Wow.
I don't even know why they want that schedule. Why do you guys want this? So now you got a bunch of road games at the end here. It's really, it's not really favorable for them.
Yeah. I mean, that's why they don't want to play these 9 games, because they realize, all right, if we get 9 games, we're going to have to play on the road. Most of these big-time teams play 2-3 road games, really.
Yeah, they play the mandatory minimum.
Yeah. Opposite picks coming up next.
Let's do AJ Brown. He's seems to be kind of upset with the way things are going. The Eagles will trade AJ Brown at some point this season, buy or sell.
This is what really annoys fans about certain players. Don't you care about winning? All right, he complained last year, won a Super Bowl, right? He was reading books, and he's blah blah blah. He's complaining this year too, and he was complaining while they were winning. Yeah, of course they lost last night to the Giants there, but he had 6 catches, 80 yards, and then I think I heard him come out and say, I don't remember having an offensive meeting with Hurts and Barkley, even though it was reported that they did have a meeting. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't, but if they did have a meeting and he's saying he doesn't, what is going on here? Do you really want to be traded? I mean, grass isn't always greener. They're not going to trade you to a good team, right? You're certainly not going to Detroit, or San Francisco. They're not going to trade you to anybody in their own conference that's good, that could go compete with them. So just strange. Do I think he's going to be traded? No. They've come out and said he won't be traded, but that, who cares? That could just be to drive the price up if they really wanted to move him. So I'm going to sell this, but, if he really wants to be dealt, he can make life hard, keep complaining, keep doing this and that, embarrassing everybody, but really strange situation what's going on in Philadelphia. You won a Super Bowl, you'd think you'd be happy for a little bit.
I think that, I don't know, would they do this deal? I think Howie Roseman is not adverse to making deals, but George, wouldn't they have to acquire somebody like AJ Brown to make this kind of trade? I'm going to say sell. I think he's going to stick it out with the team. I think they're going to move him in the offseason. I think they're going to move him.
Fantasy Sports Today. Fridays starting at 3 p.m. Eastern. Only on SportsGrid.
know what that music means. Time to take out the pad and pencils, get set for the fastest and, more importantly, most profitable 5 minutes in radio and TV, Opposite Picks. What are Opposite Picks, you newbies ask? Well, we give you 7 games, 7,000 reasons why we like one team, and then we go opposite. Why? Because despite all the stats, trends, hunches, injury reports, weather reports, systems, and everything else, nobody beats the boys in Vegas. Little behind the 8 ball this year, I will say. 15 games under 500. That is the worst by far I've ever had by going opposite. So we're handing out winners one way or the other. You decide if you want to go opposite or with the real pick. Here we go. First of a 7-pack. Houston laying 1.5 against Arizona. Wildcats have wins over Weber State, Oklahoma State, Hawaii, Kansas State. But one thing in common with those wins, all at home. This game on the road. Their one road game, they lost by 25. They're 1-5, in fact, against the spread. Their last 6 road games. Houston beat them up last year, 27-3. I think they roll them again this year. Love Houston at home with basically pick-em odds. Give me Arizona plus the 1.5. Pick number 2, Michigan State getting 27.5 against Indiana. Classic letdown spot for the Hoosiers, who are coming off probably the school's biggest win in college football, really. And we have the contract extension system in play. They gave their head coach, Kirk Cignetti, a contract monster, $93 million extension this week. You think he was prepared for Michigan State or worried about a $90 million extension? They're going to overlook Michigan State. I think the Spartans might win this outright. Give me Indiana minus the 27.5. Pick number 3, Arkansas getting 7.5 at home against Texas A&M. Head coach Bobby Petrino is back. What does he do best? Cover the number. He covered last week in the coach's fired system in a close loss against Tennessee. He gets his first home game back as the head coach. Arkansas 5-2, their last 7 against A&M as well, and A&M only 3-8 against the spread, their last 11 on the road. Love Arkansas here, getting a touchdown. Give me Texas A&M minus the 7.5. Pick number 4, Mississippi getting 7.5 against Georgia. Yeah, big revenge game for Georgia. I get that. They lost to Ole Miss last year, but you know what? All that rah-rah stuff is real good for pregame talk, but when they actually suit them up, that's all thrown out the window. It really is. Ole Miss nearly got caught looking last week against a bad Washington State team, but they won. Georgia should have lost against Auburn, but the refs bailed them out. Georgia Bulldogs, 5-14 against the spread their last 19 games. Boys in Vegas love them. The bettors don't. Loved Ole Miss getting a touchdown here. Give me Georgia minus the 7.5. Pick number 5, Penn State getting 3.5 at Iowa. One of the greatest college football betting systems ever. The coach's fired system, undefeated this year, oh, by the way. And this is one of the best ones. James Franklin gets fired only 6 weeks into the college football season. You know those kids are all ticked off and they're all disappointed. They feel like they let the guy down. You know what? They're going to be out for blood this week. Love Penn State to win outright. Give me Iowa minus the 3.5. Pick number 6. How about BYU getting 3.5 against Utah? Boys in Vegas is dyslexia kicking in again. They got it backwards. It's BYU that's ranked 15th, Utah 23rd. BYU that's the home team, Utah the road team. BYU that's 6-0, Utah only 5-1. Beehive boot battle. Also, it's BYU that's 14-2 straight up, 13-5 against the spread with those runs. Love BYU getting points at home. Give me Utah minus the 3.5. Pick number 7, Buffalo laying 16.5 against UMass. Yes, I don't care whom UMass is playing, where they're playing, why they're playing, and I don't know why they're playing anymore. This team is the worst of the worst. They lost by 36 points last week to Kent State. Are you kidding me? Buffalo, also a mind-boggling, computer-freezing, internet crashing. Get a load of this. 25-6 straight up as road favorites, including 18-12-1 against the spread. All they do is cover on the road, folks. I mean, you'd have to be the biggest dumbass, dunce, thicko, wacko, nutcase, bird brain, airhead, butthead, fathead, chowderhead, dumbbell, goon, nincompoop, ratbag, like that one, simpleton, madman, nutcase, jackass in the world to put American money on UMass. Give us UMass plus the 16.5. College football opposite picks, week number 8. Good luck, folks.
Let's do AJ Brown. He's seems to be kind of upset with the way things are going. The Eagles will trade AJ Brown at some point this season, buy or sell.
This is what really annoys fans about certain players. Don't you care about winning? All right, he complained last year. He won a Super Bowl, right? He was reading books, and he's blah, blah, blah. He's complaining this year, too. And he was complaining while they were winning. Yeah, of course they lost last night to the Giants there, but he had 6 catches, 80 yards. And then I think I heard him come out and say, I don't remember having an offensive meeting with Hurts and Barkley, even though it was reported that they did have a meeting. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't, but if they did have a meeting and he's saying he doesn't, what is going on here? Do you really want to be traded? I mean, grass isn't always greener. They're not going to trade you to a good team, right? You're certainly not going to Detroit, or San Francisco. They're not going to trade you to anybody in their own conference that's good, that could go compete with them. So just strange. Do I think he's going to be traded? No. They've come out and said he won't be traded, but that, who cares? That could just be to drive the price up if they really wanted to move him. So I'm going to sell this, but, if he really wants to be dealt, he can make life hard, keep complaining, keep doing this and that, embarrassing everybody, but really strange situation what's going on in Philadelphia. You won a Super Bowl, you'd think you'd be happy for a little bit.
I think that, I don't know, would they do this deal? I think Howie Roseman is not adverse to making deals, but George, wouldn't they have to acquire somebody like AJ Brown to make this kind of trade? I'm going to say sell. I think he's going to stick it out with the team. I think they're going to move him in the offseason. I think they're going to move him.
Fantasy Sports Today. Fridays starting at 3 p.m. Eastern. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. So college football opposite picks are in. We got Gabe's plays as well. Should be a great weekend. Gabe will be on tomorrow with Cam from noon to 3. Then it's me and Ranieri from 3 to 6. So a whole lot of fun with the college. In fact, the college football slate this week, Gabe, I think is a lot better than the NFL slate. NFL, you got maybe 1 or 2 games, but in college football, you got to get that right with so many more conferences. But the college football slate this week, this is the fun time of college football. First couple of weeks, you got all these meaningless non-conference games. Yeah, it really is. So
the NFL's been this way for a couple of weeks. If you look at it from a glamour standpoint, right? Like,
yeah,
I'm on the West Coast, so it's like last week I was like, I'm not waking up at 6:30 in the morning to watch the Broncos and Jets. Like, it's just not happening. Like, maybe it was the Buffalo Bills and the Eagles or something. A real game. And there's a lot of like sort of these games again this week. You could make an argument that the best games, Scott, are on Monday night. Well, we'll be on Tampa Bay at Detroit. And Houston and Seattle will be an interesting one as well. Speaking of Seattle, right? Seattle just wins tonight. Here's the Dodgers. There's Freddie Freeman. So the Dodgers are up 3-0 right now. Now they have runners on first and third. Will Smith singled. Freeman just singled. So first and third, nobody out. Looking to blow this game open right now in the bottom of the third inning. Yeah. And even though they won't let him do it, but would they? I'm just saying, should I even say it? It's this early, but Ohtani's been very good at the hill. I don't want to pull the mush, but you kind of threw it out there earlier, right? Let's just say the only thing he hasn't done is thrown a no-hitter. Like, you want a little icing on the cake if you're Ohtani, throw a no-hitter. That'll shut people up. He's only hitting 127.
Yeah. In a game in which he hit a home run, too.
Yeah, he hit a home run, too.
Like,
yeah.
that would be like that. Then you just wave that. That's it. You've done it. Nirvana. You can't get better than that. You throw a no-hitter in a playoff game, in a game in which you hit a home run. They
don't respect history like that, though, and the fans. Like, they left Snell in. I just don't see them doing it with Ohtani. It'll be interesting. Let's say if he has a no-hitter in the 6th inning, you can't, like, it's history, man. Like in the
Especially have a week
playoffs and
off,
stuff
too.
like that. Like,
Yeah, and you got a whole week off for the next game, right?
and he would only be pitching Game 4 of the World Series. He legit won't be pitching for 12 days or something.
Yeah.
He's fourth in the rotation. Their rotations
Yeah.
is set like the way they roll, right? It's Glass now. It's Snell 1, Yamamoto 2, Glass now 3, Ohtani 4. That's what the rotation will be in the World Series.
Yeah. Would they? We brought this up with George about Kershaw. If they're up 9-0 in this game, it is in Dodger Stadium.
Too. You don't like you can get the elephant out of the room too if you do it here at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
It's almost like the Walter Payton touchdown in the Super Bowl. Just get it out of the way early.
Right.
They didn't do it. Do it here. Maybe you won't get the chance in the World Series. It's Dodger Stadium. They're probably going to be winning this game 9-0 or something in an hour or two, right?
Right.
The way things are going, I mean, they're about to blow this thing open right now. I think you're right. I think it's a good call. Get Kershaw in here tonight, and then there's no real full pressure in the World Series.
Right.
If you can do it, you can do it. If you can't, it's like, listen, he had his curtain call in the championship series. You can't top that at Dodger Stadium. What do you want?
Yeah. It's not a bad. He'll still be on the postseason roster, I would think, for the World Series. But again, there'd be no onus to get him. Yeah, I it's a possibility. They got a couple.
I still envision. I don't want to get cocky, but they're so damn good. I actually thought about it today, Scott. I was like, maybe the Dodgers be up like 12-2 or something in a deciding game. Put Kershaw on the hill to win the World Series at the end. And it crossed my mind.
Be Cinderella-like, right? That would really be Cinderella.
Yeah, just on the way out, right? One last, even an out or something. Like you said, even in, just eighth inning, even. You know what I'm saying? Get them in if you can, but you can't start thinking that way. You got to worry. You got to respect your opponent. You can't start thinking about, where do we start putting in our guys for the nice story, right? So we got to play this out and see what happens. But that's why I like your style. Tonight would be a good idea tonight.
Yeah. That's what the Red Sox did with Billy Buckner. That's what they always told you. What was he doing out there? The guy couldn't move. Well, we wanted to have him out there for the final out.
Right. I know.
I remember.
You figure he's at first base, right? What can go wrong, right?
What can go wrong? Yeah, right. I still
him being unable to bend down. And he noted, except for him being able to actually physically, because it wasn't even hard hit. It's got kind of rolled out.
No,
it was like, dude, it's like just bend down, bro. Like just stop it. Like, but much like Bartman that we discussed and the Cubs, that was not the deciding factor.
Nope.
It was a big play, but it wasn't. There were still hits that were given up. There was still a game after, still a game 7 after. That was only game 6.
Yeah. We still had the wild pitch. It was a tie game. The game wasn't even. They weren't winning at the time. It was already tied. We already had the wild pitch. With Gedman or pass ball. I mean, so there were so many
Mike
things.
Torre pitched game 7, right?
Yeah. And I still don't even think that he would have beat him to the bag. As gimpy as he was,
it's a good point.
Mookie would have
even if he fielded the ball, huh? If he fielded the ball, he doesn't get there on
Mookie
time.
Would have beat him. Now the runner wouldn't have scored. Ray Knight wouldn't have scored. He would have had to stop at third, but still, Yeah,
it was one of those 1 in a million plays too. Just a squibber. It was just one of those. And Buckner's probably thinking, "Please don't hit it to me. Please don't hit it to me." And it gets hit to him, right?
And the call, the play-by-play call by Jack Buck was so good, or was it? Yeah, it gets by Buckner. Was so good, it kind of even highlighted that play even more. If it was just a bad regular call, but every Red Sox fan can, ball gets by Buckner. The Mets win. Yeah, that was game for me. I don't know if you have one. But that was my worst loss in my lifetime. The Dolphin won against the Raiders when I was a kid.
Yeah, for me, Norwood and the Buffalo Bills. Norwood and the Bills, field goal away from a Super Bowl.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that had to be tough. So, but I think every sports fan has it, right? It's not easy being a sports fan. I say this all the time on the podcast. It's not easy,
No, if you're dedicated, if you're a real fan. Even of being a good team, because if you're really a fan, you sort of get over the championships of the past, right? You ride it for like, even like Michigan. I'm a Michigan fan. Michigan they're on TV. They're very high profile, but they've only won 2 football championships in my lifetime. Right?
Yeah.
They won with Brian Greasy in the late 90s, and they won 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That's it. You know how much pain I've been through with the college basketball? Chris Webber calling a timeout. Chris
you're
Webber
Michigan college
timeout.
basketball fan too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like everything. Michigan hockey, basketball, like the timeout. I was a big fan as a kid even. So, like, my favorite Michigan team is, like, Glenn Rice and Ramil Robinson when they beat Seton Hall. So they won the championship. So I've seen Michigan win 1 basketball championship too. And Michigan had been, if you think about it, it kind of flies under the radar, but, bro, they've racked up, like, national championship game losses, Michigan, over the years. A lot of them. Like, think about it. The Fab Five lost 2 of them, right? They got blown out by Duke in the first one. And then the second one, they lost on the Chris Webber timeout game, the infamous game to North Carolina. They lost in a national championship game to the Louisville Cardinal. They lost in a national championship game to the Villanova Wildcats. Is there another one I'm forgetting? We've lost in a Final Four like 5 times or something over the last like 7 years. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Michigan basketball, think about it. They're really good, but we haven't won, right? We're always right there. Something happens, we lose. Oh, we got to play Villanova. I think we lost to Florida, whatever. Like, we've lost to everybody, like, in the title. But they're loaded this year, Scott, Michigan. It might be next year that they win. Like, this is Dusty May's only his 2nd year there. You know what I mean? But, man, they've killed it on the recruiting trail. Like, they're stacked. There's no reason. Like, they're actually, though, the 3rd or 4th choice to win the championship this year. So the odds makers know this.
Yeah, I love college basketball. I remember that Seton Hall game. I still say Seton Hall got screwed. The final play.
They did.
One of the,
it was a bad call.
Yeah, right. He was fouled. He was fouled. They didn't call it. So Louisville just scored touchdown, 23-13, heading the extra.
Miami on the ropes for real.
Let's do AJ Brown. He's seems to be kind of upset with the way things are going. The Eagles will trade AJ Brown at some point this season, buy or sell.
This is what really annoys fans about certain players. Don't you care about winning? All right, he played last year, won a Super Bowl, right? He was reading books, and he's blah blah blah. He's complaining this year too, and he was complaining while they were winning. Yeah, of course they lost last night to the Giants there, but he had 6 catches, 80 yards, and then I think I heard him come out and say, I don't remember having an offensive meeting with Hurts and Barkley, even though it was reported that they did have a meeting. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't, but if they did have a meeting and he's saying he doesn't, what is going on here? Do you really want to be traded? I mean, grass isn't always greener. They're not going to trade you to a good team, right? You're certainly not going to Detroit, or San Francisco. They're not going to trade you to anybody in their own conference that's good, that could go compete with them. So just strange. Do I think he's going to be traded? No. They've come out and said he won't be traded, but that, who cares? That could just be to drive the price up if they really wanted to move him. So I'm going to sell this, but, if he really wants to be dealt, he can make life hard, keep complaining, keep doing this and that, embarrassing everybody, but really strange situation what's going on in Philadelphia. You won a Super Bowl, you'd think you'd be happy for a little bit.
I think that, I don't know, would they do this deal? I think Howie Roseman is not adverse to making deals, but George, wouldn't they have to acquire somebody like AJ Brown to make this kind of trade? I'm going to say sell. I think he's going to stick it out with the team. I think they're going to move him in the offseason.
Fantasy Sports Today. Fridays starting at 3 p.m. Eastern. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. So baseball, we got Dodgers 3-0 top of the fourth inning now. They had some runners on. I'll tell you, if they don't win this game, they've had plenty of opportunities to really blow this thing open, but they haven't. So Ohtani, still pitching for the Dodgers, entering top of the fourth, up 3-0. They're 10-1 on the money line. And we got Louisville did score the touchdown, extra point good, so they're up 11 now, 24-13, early fourth quarter game. They're minus 440 favorites. Miami is plus 310
I
on
hate
the
myself
money
for
line,
this.
or 5.5.
I hate
What'd you
myself
do?
because I like this Louisville team. Well, then I took Miami because I like this Louisville team. Coming into the year, I thought they were a dark horse. I like Miller Moss as a quarterback, transferred from USC. Like Braum as a coach. Louisville's defense is really good, which people don't realize, and I'm surprised how good that they're slowing Miami down as much as they are. But Scott, Louisville, one of these teams, they're 4-1 this year, but their offense really never really clicked, and they haven't really played anybody, right? They never, it's been okay. It hasn't been great. They had a bye week to get ready for this game, and clearly Braum, and I think this is one of these deals. I know it's low-hanging fruit to pick on Mario Cristobal, but two teams with a bye week, who's been more prepared, and who's like Jeff Braum is out coaching Cristobal here. Like, you just see it. It's been this way all game.
Yeah.
Now Miami already in a fourth down. Like first downs aren't coming easy for them. And they're running out of real estate. I think they're going to go for it this time. I mean, they're down by 11 points. They got to put points up on the board.
He's got the most wins in the ACC over the last 3 seasons. I saw a graphic that ESPN put up there. Braum. You probably would say Dabo or Cristobal or whoever. Yeah, it's actually Jeff Braum, That I know he went to school there, played there, quarterback, right? So, but, would someone go in there and grab him with some of these high-profile jobs if they get to the ACC championship game, make a little bit more of a name for himself?
You figure.
Maybe.
Yeah, you figure that, he could continue to climb that ladder. Of course, he was the quarterback there, right? So he's got the connection.
Yeah.
Not a good look here for Carson Beck, where he dove for the first down, but he dove too early. So now they're in a 4th and 1.
Got to go for it. You're on 34. You're down 2 scores, 13 minutes left. I mean,
I say yes. I think you got to go for it. You haven't stopped Louisville enough. Like, you want to be down 31-13 with 6 minutes left?
Right.
Call upheld. It's 4th and 1. They have to go for this. If Cristobal goes punch this, like, he's coaching to lose. All right, they're sending him back out there. Carson Beck's body language, too, like his facial expressions, like, not very inspiring. Like, you and I talk, he's kind of a goofy-looking kid to begin with, but
he's a little weird.
He's so negative. Like, his shoulders are sort of, okay, stoop. Like, there's no passion or emotion with this kid.
Got a little Kyler Murray in him. That's the guy I think of as far as
all these new quarterbacks, man. You make money there, they're aloof. Like, Josh Allen's been like that this year.
Yeah. His numbers aren't like I thought he would do well there with all the talent. In 5 games, he's got 11 touchdown passes. That's pretty good. 3 interceptions. He's only thrown for 300 yards, though, one time.
They played a couple of cupcakes, though, where, but they've also played, like, how many bad teams do they play? They played Bethune-Cookman. Who else they played? They played a bunch of bad teams where he came out of the game, and, he wasn't throwing the ball and stuff.
Yeah, like they played decent teams, Notre Dame, Central Florida, but they've been all blowouts. Right. So,
but let's see now. You got to throw the ball. You're down 11 with 11 minutes left. You're supposedly a top tier draft pick. Let's see you. Yeah. Man, they're struggling. Like, dude, like first down, they drop back to pass, he gets sacked.
Wow.
Man, there's going to be a shakeup in the rankings this week. I was wondering, all right, out of the 11 teams, who's most viable to lose? And I was thinking, well, Boise State, are hosting UNLV, right? That's, they're kind of in tough there.
Yeah.
I didn't think Miami would lose this game. They just picked up a first down here, but this could be a fun ending. If Miami scores a touchdown here, right, and they go for 2, they try to make it 24-21, we could have a fun ending of this game.
Yeah. And if they lose, then it'll be all the talk about Cristobal. As we pointed out in one of the breaks, Gabe, they don't play the best teams. They don't play Clemson. They don't play Georgia Tech. They don't play Duke. They got SMU, but otherwise they got all the bottom feeders of the ACC. They got to win over Notre Dame.
Let the James Franklin to Miami rumors. We'll start it right here. James Franklin to Miami.
Yeah.
Get rid of Cristobal. Get Franklin in here.
I mean, would an 11-1 Miami team that we'll say doesn't get to the ACC championship game, would a win over Notre Dame, like South Florida, chances are is not going to be ranked when everything is said and done. Florida State's not going to be ranked when everything is said and done. So they're only going to have one win. They could beat SMU. That's on the road. But let's just say we'll play devil's advocate.
They're sort of like
SMU.
Notre Dame, Scott. They would have
they bring
to
a little
win big.
cachet. Yeah.
They'd have to win big, like a win out. You know what I mean? Like Notre Dame with style points is trying to like get back in the poll here in the rankings, and they are. Style points matter in college football. Let's call it out for what it is.
Yeah. They're going to have to really beat up a bunch of
tomorrow, dude, you got a 5-1 Duke team, as crazy as it sounds, a 5-1 Duke team, and a 6-0 Georgia Tech team going head-to-head tomorrow. Like, Georgia Tech is seeing a path to the playoffs suddenly watching this right now.
You think about how weird college football is, right? Indiana is undefeated, right?
Yeah.
If you look at, like, I looked it up. You can go. Listen, I'm watching college football for 50 years. They've been awful. Outside of Anton Randall L. and Michael Penix.
They just picked off. They just picked off
Carson Beck.
They're gonna win this game.
They're gonna lose.
Louisville are gonna beat them. It's 24-13. Oh, there's a flag on the play. Oh, Louisville are killing themselves. Scott, roughing the passer. They smoked them after the play.
Oh, wow. That's brutal.
That's the lifeline now. This is it if you're mine. This is the second time this has happened. Oh, that's a bad call. That's a bad call. He didn't smoke him. Carson Beck's pretending he's all hurt. Like, he tackled him, but there was no ill will intention. But this is the second time, guys, that Louisville have had a roughing the passer penalty. Miami settled for a field goal last time. They just this is it. You're at midfield right now. You got 9 minutes left. You were throwing a raft here. If you don't cash in now, this game's over.
Yeah. 4-1 on the money line. If you think Miami's going to come all the way back now, 2 scores. We'll close up shop next year on the Grid.
Let's do AJ Brown. He's seems to be kind of upset with the way things are going. The Eagles will trade AJ Brown at some point this season, buy or sell.
This is what really annoys fans about certain players. Don't you care about winning? All right, he complained last year. He won a Super Bowl, right? He was reading books, and he's blah, blah, blah. He's complaining this year, too. And he was complaining while they were winning. Yeah, of course they lost last night to the Giants there, but he had 6 catches, 80 yards. And then I think I heard him come out and say, I don't remember having an offensive meeting with Hurts and Barkley, even though it was reported that they did have a meeting. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't, but if they did have a meeting and he's saying he doesn't, what is going on here? Do you really want to be traded? I mean, grass isn't always greener. They're not going to trade you to a good team, right? You're certainly not going to Detroit, or San Francisco. They're not going to trade you to anybody in their own conference that's good, that could go compete with them. So just strange. Do I think he's going to be traded? No. They've come out and said he won't be traded, but that, who cares? That could just be to drive the price up if they really wanted to move him. So I'm going to sell this, but, if he really wants to be dealt, he can make life hard, keep complaining, keep doing this and that, embarrassing everybody, but really strange situation what's going on in Philadelphia. You won a Super Bowl, you'd think you'd be happy for a little bit.
I think that, I don't know, would they do this deal? I think Howie Roseman is not adverse to making deals, but George, wouldn't they have to acquire somebody like AJ Brown to make this kind of trade? I'm going to say sell. I think he's going to stick it out with the team. I think they're going to move him in the offseason. I think they're going to move him.
Fantasy Sports Today. Fridays starting at 3 p.m. Eastern. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe closing up shop on this fabulous football Friday. So Carson Beck turns the ball over again. This one counts on 4th and 4. So Louisville with the football up 11. Could this be a precursor, Gabe, to some crazy upsets this weekend? I was saying how the nutsy college football is. You got Vandy hasn't been a favorite against a ranked team since 1948. Believe it or not, you got Vandy favored over LSU. You have Georgia Tech and Duke playing for first place in the ACC this late in the season. When's the last time that's happened? How about Wisconsin being a nearly 4-touchdown home underdog to even albeit Ohio State? So some crazy lines this weekend. We'll see what happens.
UCLA are favored suddenly.
Yeah.
Go from,
How about that?
You go up, you go down. Now suddenly say, oh, UCLA better make them a 3-point favorite here. I actually think UCLA are going to win that game. But, yeah, this is some wild stuff. And I'll tell you what, too. A lot of times college football fans, they kind of give up on their team after one loss and then 2 losses. Oh, it's over. It's not. You just said it a couple of minutes ago. We're heading into the time of the season right now. It's going to be all these teams are playing each other, guys. Therefore, there's going to be losses. So if you've got 2 losses right now, you can still – there's a path to the playoffs for you. You just got to win some football games because you're going to see the dominoes are going to start to fall. The undefeated are going to start to go down. So there's 11 coming into tonight. It looks like there's going to be 10. There'll probably be a few more. UNLV are probably going to lose to Boise tomorrow, even though I think UNLV, that 13 is pretty high, the point spread. But UNLV, that's the thing, Scott, with UNLV, though. Like, all they do is cover point spreads, like as underdogs. So it's like, they're outmatched, and it doesn't seem like it's a good matchup for them and this and that, but I'm not going against them. I'm going to take that 13 points with the running Rebels tomorrow.
Yeah. You got Cal in North Carolina kicking off your game in about a half hour. Bill Belichick. The line down to 7.5 on FanDuel. I got to tell you, man, I don't see it. That was 10.5. I get that. So everyone's betting North Carolina. You got the quarterback, the redshirt freshman there for Cal. That everyone's thinking Belichick's going to create this great mystique defense, but they're going back to that Belichick lore, and maybe they'll do it the entire season. But every team they played, they've gotten buried. Cal's halfway decent. I got to see it to believe it. I'm taking Cal. I'll buy the hook. Actually, and at this point, it's down to 7.5. I'll buy the hook and lay Cal with 7.
Cal got run over by Duke, and people are kind of down on him because of that. But oh my goodness, you can't make this up, Scott. Louisville are just doing everything. Louisville just fumbled the ball. Kid on Miami picked it up and returned it to the 10-yard line.
Wow.
I was like, I thought he was going to score a touchdown, like scoop and score. We'll see if the offense can do something. It was almost like they needed that kid to return it for the touchdown there. But Miami ball on the 10-yard line, he ain't down. Like, that's a fumble. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about this. This is Miami ball on the 10-yard line. But, yeah, Scott, there's a new one today. Get a kick out of this after the show if you want. The Skeletor, Belichick's girlfriend there.
Right.
I saw the best Halloween stuff in North Carolina. They had Belichick was a skeleton with like a North Carolina hoodie, and she was a skeleton in the white boots and a dress.
Right.
It was too good. But there's a new video. Pablo Torre's making a lot of enemies of exposing people. Pablo Torre somehow got tape of Belichick and his girlfriend talking on set and of her berating staff of Underdog Sports. Well, that's after our boy Rob Donaldson about it. But anyways, she's a monster. Touchdown Miami Hurricanes. She's a monster. But, yeah, everyone's down because they got shut out by San Diego State. I'm not even going to try to say the kid's name, Scott. I'm glad that you didn't either on Cal, the freshman quarterback.
Freshman quarterback.
He's thrown a couple interceptions last couple of weeks. I'm with you. North Carolina are terrible. I'm glad that the number's down to 7.5, and I'm going to use this like a Hawaii bailout special. I'm slamming Cal on the way out here.
Yeah. Ohtani gave another home run. He could now he's given up a hit, so the no-hitter's out the window.
Oh, he sucks. He's so overrated.
Yeah,
he gave up a hit.
He stinks. Yeah, all that money.
Another home run. You believe this? From he's not. He's struggling to okay, elimination game. Let me hit 2 home runs tonight. Wow,
unbelievable. Yeah. So
is he gonna hit another one? 3.
Yeah. The only thing that could derail them is the week off, and I don't think necessarily that will, but that's about the only hope the Mariners, Toronto Blue Jay fan has at this point. The week off will kill the Dodgers, the pitching staff. Or
yeah,
whatever.
but you know what? Even the Blue, if they let's say it's 1-6 for Seattle, they're still going to be off for 4 or 5 days. You know what I mean? Everyone's going to be off.
All right, folks, enjoy your Friday. Gabe is back at noon tomorrow. I'm back at 3. Let's have some profitable Saturday and Sundays coming up here on the Grid.